In this video, we are going to discuss about preview and VTP versions. So you see here that VTP servers and clients have a VTP configuration revision number, and when a switch enters VTP server mode, the revision number is all set to 0 here. So when this VTP server mode, when a switch enters the VTP server mode, then this revision number will be set to 0, and when a client or server receives a VTP packet, it compares the domain, passwords and revision numbers. So whenever a packet is received, when a client or a server with the VTP packet, the packet contains this domain name, passwords and the revision numbers, so that it compares that, so that it has to forward the packet or not. If the domain and passwords match, it accepts and configuration is received, and the revision number is incremented to the current revision number or the higher current revision number here. Let's say a brand new switch in the network is brought up and 4 switches are configured under client, and while one is in the server mode, then the VLAN is created on the server. So if you see that the VTP server increments the revision number by 1 and sends the update out. So this VTP number will be revised to or updated to from 0 to 1 and sent out. And also if you see here, any switches on the network in the VTP domain receives the update request and accept it because the revision numbers were 0 and the new number is 1. So the other network will accept this thing, and you see that the switch or the switches in the network in the VTP domain receive this and accept it and update it because they update from 0 to 1 here. And as I mentioned here clearly that there should be some dangers also in the VTP when you are configuring it. So we'll just discuss about the disadvantages of VTP and also how dangers are occurred in the VTP here. You see, when a switch is in a server or a client mode, joins a network, it broadcasts its VTP information including its revision number. So if a new switch is added to in a network, then it will broadcast its VTP information and including the revision number here. So if you see, pretend there is a stable network with the VTP domain name as VTP domain and revision number as 176. So the revision number is 176 and the VTP domain name as VTP domain. An office closed, so one of the switches in the office is brought into active office and add a new switch to one of the floors of the employees section. You see here the closed office used VTP domain name as a name and also the revision number as 216. So what will happen here? As I said, when a new switch is adding into a network, it will broadcast its VTP information and it will be updated with the domain and again the revision number. So as I mentioned that there is a new switch with the domain name as VTP domain and revision number as 216, then the switch is configured to be a client and is plugged into the network, then immediately broadcasted VTP information. That means this is a new switch with VTP domain name as VTP domain and the revision number as 216. So it is in the client mode, so that it is plugged into the network, then it will try to broadcast its VTP information into the network, and all properly configured switches is in the higher revision number and replace their VLAN configurations. So as previously, if there are any VLAN configurations, they will be replaced by the present VLAN configuration of this switch. And understand that when this happens, when the support calls ensue, that means when support calls come forward or happen, then the VoIP phones will go down because this configuration is not there in the VLAN configuration of the other switches, but they have been just replaced by the new switch VTP information. So that this is only unless they are using a VoIP on the same switches. So on the same switches, if you have VoIP also, that when a support calls come, then it will be overlapped one on another because this VTP information is replaced with new VTP information. So to overcome this, what are the steps we take to prevent this happening? So make sure you have a unique VTP domain name as well as a new password, even the domain name is correctly. So each VTP domain should have a unique password. So if you have a unique password, then even if there is a VTP domain conflict between them, the password will be not accepted, so that it can not take forward here. So before plugging any new switches into the network, set that the transparent mode and then do client and server mode accordingly. That means when a new switch is introduced into the network, first you have to make the switch in the transparent mode, and after into the transparent mode you can configure it into the client or server mode. and this action resets the VTP division number to 0. By this transparent mode, the VTP division number will be all set to 0 and guaranteeing won't broadcast bad VLAN or any VTP information is not broadcasted on the network. And this is about the preview and the information available here.